everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bill Has Opinions. Your can't miss. Yes, that's correct. Your can't miss Bill shit. Suddenly it sounded really wrong.
You got to the pun part and you were like,
yeah, I got to the pun and I'm like, no, that's not right. But yes.
Bill shit. Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
right. That is exactly the phrase we coined.
Miss Bill shit. Yes, we did, because puns,
yes.
man. Well, welcome. I am Laura Lavoie and I'm here with Bill Perkins,
Yes.
who has opinions.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hey,
glad you're
thank
here.
you. I'm glad I'm here too. I'm glad to be here.
Well, good. Well, how was your weekend?
I mean, it was all right. It was cold as balls, you know.
Mm.
Today it was a balmy 45, and I was happy for it, right? Because I'm tired of lighting fires and still being cold. So there's that. But anyway, how was your weekend?
Well, my weekend was fantastic. Thanks for asking.
I thought it might be because there was a certain thing that happened.
Yes, the Detroit Lions from Michigan. Most notably, one of the worst teams in the NFL has now made it to the NFC Championship game next week against the 49ers in San Francisco. So it's going to be epic. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
And it's a good day to be a Lions fan, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know what the odds are on your next game, but I was looking the other day, and your odds going into the Tampa Bay game was everybody had you favored to whoop up on them, and actually your point spread was about exactly what they predicted.
Right. Yeah,
I mean, give or take a couple points, but it was, it was pretty close to what I had read. So
it was very exciting. It was super exciting to watch. So very excited for next week. Look, at this point, let's just take it all the way. Like, do it.
I hope you do it because you guys deserve it. You know, I mean, like you've been patient. You've sat around. You're like Bob Dole running for president. You know, like you've waited enough times. It's time just to hand you the nomination. You know,
right? It's been a long fucking. I mean, I am gonna be 49 this year, and I have never seen, save for a couple of years, never seen a true winning season.
Yeah,
not to this degree. And in fact, the last time they went to what was the equivalent of the pre-Super Bowl championship game, it was before the Super Bowl era.
Okay.
Was in 1957, where they did win the championship game, the overall championship game. And but the final game to get to that point was against the San Francisco 49ers. So it feels like it's fate.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah, we'll see.
All right.
We'll see what happens.
Well, good luck. I hope you guys go all the way because, like I said, I mean, well, and I tell people I don't really, I'm like not invested in NFL teams per se, but if people ask what team do you pull for in the NFL, I always tell them the Lions because all my friends are Lions fans. Ergo, I'm a Lions fan.
Sure.
Because I don't have a dog in the fight really other than that.
Sure.
I watch more Lions games per year than I watch any other.
And partly because one of them's on Thanksgiving Day.
Well, that, yes, but yeah. But I watch, I'm just saying, like, yeah, if I'm going to watch a football game on TV, it's probably a Lions game because, I'm more invested in that because I want to, I get vicarious joy out of my friends getting joy. So,
Yes, which I think is a great mindset to have. But we also consumed a lot of beers yesterday. So why don't we talk about some beers?
Let's do that.
What are you drinking right now?
Right now, I'm drinking this thing called Oberon. Speaking of Michigan, Oberon Eclipse. And I'm trying to figure out what it's going. I saw it, so I thought it was like some kind of winter beer because it was wintertime and I bought it. And obviously, they're not making Oberon right now.
Right, because Oberon has an Oberon Day. It comes out in the spring.
Yeah, exactly. So I saw it, and I was like, oh, is this some sort of winter Oberon thing? Like, what are they doing? But then I got it.
Technically, it is. But
yeah. Okay, so I saw it, though, and like most of the other beers in the wintertime have like a dark, logo or something, like in there. But they have like, snowy scenes and all this. So I was like, okay, what is this, their winter thing? And I bought it. And then I got home and I looked at it and I was like, oh, it says it's also a citrus wheat. So it's still kind of Oberon, I guess.
Yeah. It's a weirdly I can't really describe it.
It's like so it's Oberon, but it's not as light. Look, first off here, it's not as
darker.
light as Oberon. It's a little darker and it's got some sediment.
Yeah.
And it's a little spicier. So it's kind of like a spiced ale version of Oberon, sort of.
But still a wheat beer. Yeah. So here's my theory on this, right? So Bellsbrewing was sold a couple of years ago to a bigger company, kind of like many of the other companies we know.
Yeah.
So what I think is happening, and they weren't bought by like Budweiser or anything, but what I think is happening is the same thing that happened to a lot of the other ones, like New Belgium, like
weren't Bell's and New Belgium the same company now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So here's exactly. We've complained many times in the show about the terrible branding that New Belgium does. I think that's what's happening. Yeah, I think that's what's happening to Bell's.
Okay.
Because the
names are going to be meaningless.
Yeah, completely meaningless. Like Oberon has meaning.
Yes.
And this is just I thought it was going to be like they're just a winter warmer, like something that was the opposite of an Oberon.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's just slightly darker Oberon with a different label on
spice,
it.
Maybe. Yes. I feel like it's got some coriander. Like yes, it does. It says it's coriander. That's what it is. It's got loads of coriander. That's what all the sediment is.
It's just coriander. It's straight coriander.
It's just ground up coriander. They just took regular Oberon that had been sitting around since summertime
and threw some.
They ground up a ton of coriander and they put it in another bottle. They said, "There you go."
Yeah, and they're piggybacking. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening. They're piggybacking over the Oberon name, but at some point, it's going to become meaningless. Like fucking Voodoo Ranger.
Yes,
like it's not going to have
I just
meaning.
See that fucking skull guy, and it's like Voodoo Ranger, peppermint twist, and you're like, "The fuck is that? I don't want that. That sounds nasty."
Exactly.
It's like watermelon rind high time. Right. And you're like, this is a dank watermelon beer, and it's Voodoo Ranger.
Why?
I don't want it.
I'm going with it's been cold. I crave dark beers. I've got a Green Man ESB.
Yeah,
which is one of the first beers I ever had in Asheville and fell in love with. But you got some on deck.
Well,
here.
You gave me a Green Man Porter,
which I also have.
And then I brought a Ninja Bread Man.
A Ninja Bread Man. You're going like full Christmas.
Well, they still had some
leftover. And then I do have for my last one a Founders All Night IPA, which I'm totally digging. Founders has a sweet IPA, an all day IPA mix pack, and they have like Chill Day, which is a cold IPA, and All Day Haze, and then they have All Night IPA, which is a dark IPA. And first of all, it's hard to find dark IPAs in general. And I've been really craving them.
It's becoming more common.
I went to the store. I found none.
I asked you a couple weeks ago about somebody. I saw somebody had a dark IPA.
Was it Foothills?
That's the one.
Yes, they've always had it.
Okay,
but I couldn't even I looked for that in the store the other day too.
All right,
and I couldn't find it.
But I saw that a couple weeks ago. That was pretty common in the store. But that was like a winter thing too, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, they also have Frostbite.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't Frostbite. It was the other one.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't remember.
Whatever one I just literally said that wasn't Frostbite. But yes. So yeah, anyway, those are the beers we've got.
All right.
So we like to do that, drink the beers, and then we like to talk about weird shit.
Sure we do.
So today's weird shit. So this was a tough one to name, right? Because I couldn't figure. I ended up titling the episode "The Wayback Machine," which is itself a reference because there's a website, right, where you can the Wayback Machine. You can go find old websites.
Yeah, it's like the archived version of a website. There's also the Internet Archive.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Which is another thing that like basically. If you want to find something, I got disappointed because you were asking me like, send me some things. And I was trying to send you some things today and went to go look because I had kind of last minute like recollections like, oh, I should mention this and mention this. And one of the things I went to send you, I actually went to the website. The website still existed, but it didn't work like it used to.
Right.
And I was like, but I sent you a link anyway I found the thing that the website used to be.
Right.
And
there's a lot of that. So it is kind of, we've made our own Wayback Machine.
Yeah.
Because what we're doing right now is reminiscing about the early days of the internet.
The old internet.
Ye olde internet. I mean, both of us kind of were there at the
I was there a million years ago, whatever.
When we all started. I mean, one of the first things I did when I moved to college was start playing Muds. You know, and that was
like that was a thing. No, I was in the computer lab. Like all I did was babysit mouse balls, basically. My job when I was in college was to make sure nobody stole the trackballs out of the mice and to make sure that nobody put acetate in the laser printer. Those were
All right, so they were trying to make overhead projector slides, the little with the old school where you just put the thing on.
Yes, but if you put them in the laser printer, they would melt and they would jam up the printer. So my job was to be like, hey, no sir. Also, if you wanted to print anything on paper, you had to bring me a sheet of paper. You basically handed me a sheet of paper. And I would, and then I would trade you, like I'd give you your print for a sheet of paper. And if you tried to
barter system.
No, yeah. And if you tried to screw me, I could put in your login ID and ban you from the computer lab for like the next week.
Right.
So that was it. I had some authority, but also mostly just sat there all night with nothing to do. So I taught myself HTML. Because this was in 1990. What was this? 94, 95.
Sure.
Advent of the internet, really.
Right.
And I was sitting there all night, like looking at the internet, and I was like, "Well, this is crazy. Everybody seems to have a website, but I don't have a web." I was in a band at the time, and so we were early adopters of like using a website to promote our band.
Right.
And I like that about the internet in the olden times, about how we viewed it as the great equalizer. Like now I can have the same scope as a band that's distributed by a large label. You know what I mean?
Right,
because I could technically reach someone in Turkey or something. Like they could just scroll, like be dumbling around. And, hey, look at this. There's this band in South Carolina that's got this website here. I'll check them out. Why not? But I mean, it didn't translate to multi-million-dollar sales or anything.
Yeah, no, never did.
Sadly.
Yeah, I was an early adopter of a lot of blogs. I just recently found I was looking for, it came up in a memory, like when I had something I had done, it came up in a memory and I'm like, I used to have a beer blog.
Oh yeah.
It was called Beer and Now.
Oh, okay. I had a when I first moved to Asheville, I had a food blog. I was a food blogger. It was when I was dating, and then I guess I got once I got in a serious relationship, I didn't give a shit anymore. It was actually kind of a thing. It was honestly, I think it was probably a ploy. It was like a thing I would tell girls.
Sure.
When I was dating, I'm a food blogger, and they would, oh yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and I'd give them my website, and they go check it out, and they go, oh wow, yeah, that's really cool, And,
yeah.
I don't know, there's a thing to say about yourself. I guess I fancy myself a writer for a minute, and. I mean, I need to look and see if it's still out there somewhere. I don't even remember what format or what, what I'm saying, like what the host site was.
Right, yeah, all my
I was on Blogspot.
Blogspot's still there because I just
what was the one that preceded Blogspot? The the one that like people would just like write like diary entries and stuff.
LiveJournal.
LiveJournal.
Yeah, I was a LiveJournal.
Okay, my buddy Doug actually met his wife on LiveJournal. That's how they met.
A lot of weird people. I mean, I had a lot of friends.
Well, I'm not saying he's a weird person, although he is a weird person.
Well, I mean, I'm saying just like weird as in
but I'm saying apparently he was posting like his poetry and stuff on there, and she read his poetry and was like, "This is a soul I want to meet."
That's awesome.
And listen, he lived in South Carolina. She lived in Wisconsin. And they found each other that way. So I mean, it's kind of a beautiful. They're still together. Like after all these years, like what was that? That would have been in like around 95 or so.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because I was still doing it until I was still live journaling until 2001.
Yeah.
Well, actually, technically, I was live journaling until
I read live journal. I wasn't a live journaler, but I read a lot of people's live journals. Like it was something that I read. Oh, you know what? There's something I forgot to send you, but it's an important website that I used to frequent a lot. Speaking of that, because I like to live vicariously, I'm a big fan of reading people's innermost secrets and whatever. But Post Secrets, you remember that one? Post Secrets. I forgot to bring that up or put it on the list. But anyway.
That could be. I mean, because there have been several iterations of that over the years too. Sure. We could totally do a whole show on that. Yeah. But all right, so. We're going to get into it because we got a ton of content, like a ton.
Right, yeah.
Like, look at all my slides. I got slides up the wazoo.
Oh, gosh.
And the truth is, we're never going to get to all of it.
Oh, she said, I was sending her stuff this afternoon because I thought I was filling up. Like, I hadn't sent her anything previously. I was like, oh, I need to respond. Here's some things. And I started sending her stuff. And then at some point, she was like, we're never going to finish all this. And I was like, okay, great. Then I'll just shut the fuck up. Like, there's no point.
All right. As far as what to... Let's see. What do we want to promote?
Yes.
I don't know. Nothing really fits. So let's promote this, right?
Yeah, why not?
Colors, because it's almost Valentine's Day.
Yeah, you might want to get those orders in already.
You might need to get some. I know that she's doing custom Valentine's Day cards. So check out Colors of Kindness on Facebook. Deb's Colors of Kindness specifically, and you can get a punny little card like "I love you a awful lot."
Oh man,
really kind of adorable.
That is adorable. Yeah.
So yeah, go get you some cards.
Only thing I don't like about that card is it's got the waffle has a strawberry instead of a chicken.
Oh,
like
yeah.
It should have a chicken tender with it.
Well, she's from the Midwest. It's not very.
Oh, right. It's not Atlanta.
Yeah. It's not from Atlanta.
It'll make its way up there. Like 10 years
I think it has.
Chicken and waffles will be everywhere.
Oh,
like
chicken. Yeah, I think.
Oh gosh, man! Like we I don't know. Did we talk about it? But last week when we were talking about the cruise, the chicken and waffles on the cruise, they had it was thigh meat. I asked them about it before I ordered because I had gotten hip to their shit, and I was like, the chicken and waffles, like what cut of meat is that? And they're like thigh, and I was like, that's not chicken and waffles. Get out of here with that nonsense. Get out of here. I'm ordering something else. And instead I ordered a beignet that turned out to be a yeast roll.
A yeast roll with powdered sugar on it. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Where do we even want to start? I don't even know where to start. I got some videos to share. I got some slides to share.
Well, I don't know, man.
Okay, let's start with a video. Because
let's do it.
First of all, let's make sure I can. Because I'm gonna do some screen sharing here.
Okay.
Somebody's talking at us. I guess chicken and waffles is
chicken and waffles
these days.
They're eating that everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I think they are.
They're eting that in Bombay. I bet they have everywhere you go.
Chicken and waffles have gotten quite.
Chicken
common.
and waffles is a thing.
Quite common.
You know, that'd be a fun thing to go around the world and try in different places. You're in when you're in Spain, you should go.
See if we can find some chicken and waffles.
Let's try Spanish chicken and waffles. See what their spin on it is. Let's try chicken and waffles in the UK. I bet you're gonna be like, oh boy, this could sure go for some spice. Like they didn't even salt this shit.
You know what? Actually, hold on. We're gonna start this actually somewhere else. So we're gonna get to that in a minute, folks. But let's start out with one of the classics, which is not. I don't have slides or anything because it was really just a blog.
Okay.
But it spawned a lot of versions.
Okay.
And it was stuff white people like.
Okay.
You remember stuff white people like?
Do. Oh God, yes, I do remember that one because it's funny because I learned about a lot of cultural differences that way.
Exactly.
I did not realize, for instance, how amazed Black people were at our ability to grab a bar of soap and rub it all over ourselves because we don't believe in washcloths. But apparently Black people like washcloths, and we are like, washcloths are for your face. Like if I'm shaving, I use a washcloth.
Yeah, I don't use a washcloth.
Other than shaving, I don't fuck with washcloths.
My hand works just fine. But yeah,
they didn't rub soap all over me. But apparently, this fascinates Black people when they find out that white people just rub a bar. They know because it's in the fucking soap commercials. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
The soap commercial is always just a white person rubbing soap on them.
And
they're always like horrified watching this. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, where's the washcloth?
Well, so for example, here's an excerpt of this one is religions their parents don't belong to.
Okay.
It's stuff white people like. And it's white people often say they're spiritual but not religious. This usually means they will believe in any religion that doesn't involve Jesus.
Okay.
The most popular choices include Buddhism, Hinduism, Kabbalah, and to a lesser extent, Scientology. Even if you dip into Islam, but that's much rarer since you have to make real sacrifices and actually go to a mosque.
That's fair.
For the most part, white people prefer religions that produce artifacts and furniture that fit into their home or wardrobe. They're also particularly drawn to religions that don't require a lot of commitments or donations.
Yeah.
When a white person tells you I'm Buddhist, Hindu, Kabbalist, the best thing to do is ask how they arrived at the religious decision. This story will likely involve a trip to Thailand or a college class on religion.
That is so fucking true. And listen, my stepson, every time we go to an Indian restaurant and he sees the big Shiva statue, he's like, I want one of those. And I'm like, why though? Because I feel like it's like, do you want to be that guy?
I had a whole ass ton of that stuff when I was in college.
I understand it.
When I was diving into Wicca.
I get it. I say this as a person who wants a large Baphomet statue in my house.
Sure.
But I don't feel like I'm ripping that off from some other culture. You know what I mean?
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, you're ripping it off of other white people culture.
Exactly. Other white people. I don't feel bad about screwing other white people out of something.
Exactly. But, so that is to say, stuff white
This is
people
the
like.
last Ninja Bread Man of the season, and I'm really loving it.
Yay! Well, that's great.
Just saying.
All right, so stuff white people like spawned a ton of
Stuff things like.
stuff things
I did
like.
not never get the reference, but I do. But I have been to the Stuff Monsters Like website.
So Stuff Monsters Light is owned by some friends of ours.
Yes.
And I don't know if you ever saw this, which is why I wanted to share it today.
Fair enough.
At one time, Stuff Monsters Like did a Kickstarter to buy the moon. So
I think I heard about it.
Yeah, no, you should watch this.
Okay.
We're gonna watch it here.
Okay.
Welcome to and let's watch from this. They can see us.
Oh, hi kids. Welcome to the Haunted Mansion. My name's Jim.
And I'm Sarah. We're from StuffMonstersLike.com. Help us fund our folk album about life
On the moon. Blast off.
It's just literal.
But first, we have to go there.
You may ask yourself, why would I want to go to the moon? First of all, the moon has no global warming yet. But I think we humans can fix that. Also, there's no overpopulation.
In fact, the moon suffers from underpopulation.
But again, we humans can fix that. There really are no downsides to living on the moon.
What about the rogue moon bandits?
Sarah, there are no rogue moon bandits. But the best part of all...
No one will ask you that annoying question.
Cassidy, did you see the moon tonight?
An idiot, we're on it.
Oh!
Our plan is actually a 3-part process.
First, buy the moon. Second, construct the moon base. And third, write our folk album about our journey to the stars.
Wait, didn't the United Nations declare in 1967 that no nation could own the moon and that it was a province of all mankind?
That's correct, Sarah.
It's literally brilliant.
In 1980, Dennis Hope saw right through the UN's incompetence and filed the correct paperwork, making him the rightful owner of the moon.
And he's willing to sell it to us for $18.95 an acre.
We've had our accountants crunch the
I really
numbers
haven't seen
in
that.
our science lab.
Yeah. You can buy an acre of land on the moon. Much like becoming a Scottish lord
Exactly.
by owning like a square foot of Scotland.
To purchase the lunar surface, it would cost us $177,612,798,844.24.
What about called up?
Next, we'll construct the moon base.
Yeah. I mean, because real estate's gone through the fucking roof lately. You know?
That's fair.
I'm glad I got in when I did.
We did actually
We
encourage
estimate this will cost $400 billion.
You didn't.
We will also need to pay a 1-year salary to Neil deGrasse Tyson, because he will be the only person who really knows how to live on the moon.
The moon base will be the super presidential palace where Sarah and I will live and rule. I will be the super president.
Super president, try super awesome president.
Gee, thanks, Sarah.
Since we are the Moon Lords, we have a few rules that you must adhere to. Number 1, no dogs named Nibbles. Number 2, no evolution. Number 3, no moon buggies.
Wait a second. No evolution? We're not going to teach that in our moon schools?
No, we'll still teach it. It will just be illegal to evolve.
Ah, keep the moon people in biological stasis. Good thinking.
And we've already assigned people their personal pod spaces within the
other
compound.
people do our
The ghost of Ronald Reagan will live here. Earth, Wind, and Fire will live here.
And everyone named George will have to live here in a fun, happy, segregated part of the compound. We call it Georgetown. Why?
Because we don't trust you. George Lucas and George Foreman and George Steinbrenner will all live here.
How about that?
And George Clooney can live right here. You may ask yourself, what's in it for you? Once we get to the moon, we're documenting our entire journey on our folk album, Lunarade 1985.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that the moon is made out of cheese. How many cheeses are on the moon? There's cheddar.
Sea of tranquility.
There's Munster.
Ocean of storms.
Gorgonzola.
Sea of serenity. Bay of rainbows. We have a full list of gifts that come with each pledge bracket. Every $25 donation gets you an autographed copy of our folk album.
For every $10 million donor, you get a free do-it-yourself wormhole kit.
Some assembly required. You will need your own nuclear power plant and enriched uranium.
Correct. But after that, it's just like 2 simple steps.
But wait, there's more. The first
You know, this
100
actually got
people
written
get
up
their
in the
own
list of
inflatable
magazines.
moon buddy.
No joke.
That's crazy.
Promised myself I wouldn't cry. So give us your pledge of support and we'll save a moon pod for you.
Where we can watch the steady decline of Earth from a safe orbiting distance.
And have plenty of time to work on our folk music.
Ah, there you go, folks.
Wow, how about that?
I mean, these are actually legit friends of ours.
Yeah,
Very well done.
and we appreciate
well
their
done.
eating up like a good portion of our program, so we don't have to do anything.
That's true, but
This
it
is this is 100% why you told me like we weren't going to get everything.
yeah. But so that brings me to another. It's a shorter video, but
Oh,
it does
gosh.
bring me to another video because early internet
Oh yeah.
did very much enjoy the moon
Mm.
as a subject.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The moon.
I don't know if you remember this one.
What you call it when you look up at the sky in a poetic kind of way? You know, when you grope for Luna.
Exactly.
Oh god damn!
Exactly.
Yeah, these guys. I started to send these guys to you, but I figured you probably had them covered.
Well, I do.
All
And
right.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go.
We like the moon. Cause it is close to
This makes me hungry for sandwiches.
We like the
He's
moon.
done ever-
I know that's why
Do they exist?
Yes, business still exists in California.
There are 5 of them.
You used to go to Quiznos all the time.
I used to love Quiznos. It grew and then it disappeared. There was one on first of all, how we were long.
We didn't go to Atlanta.
Well, there was one there. It was in the shopping center with the spindle.
Oh yeah.
It was that's what it was. But I haven't seen it in forever.
I will legit sometimes just bust out with I like the moon.
We like the moon. The moon is very useful, everyone. Everybody like the moon because it
Doesn't stop being funny. I'm sorry, internet. If you think this isn't funny, you are not my friend. He's not.
We really like cheese, we like
What are these things called again?
They were called the Song Monkeys. Or Song Monkeys, I guess it's in here. There's SPONG.
Okay.
We really
Well,
like
this
the
is more like some kind of creepy hamster.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Okay.
So close that out.
Yeah, we didn't hear that whatever that advertisement was.
No, we did not need the advertisement. But so I thought it was very important that we share the stuff white people like, stuff monsters like for their Kickstarter, and we like the moon.
Yeah.
But that's not all.
That's not all.
We got
But wait, there's more.
Oh, wait, there's more. So one that you sent to me, this is not
Okay.
a video, but I am going to share it because some of these are like websites that
Mhm.
there's no way I could take enough screenshots to make this happen.
Okay.
So let me pull this up here. You sent to me,
Oh yeah, good old.
Eric Conveys an Emotion.
I used to love this guy back in the day.
Right? So he's just a dude that. So this website is it doesn't really work anymore. Like I can click on some of these filed emotions, they don't do anything.
No, they don't do nothing.
Nothing.
Oh,
But
God.
so you can read though. Eric Conveys an Emotion. This one was. I have no idea what this is. This is news and dotes. News and dotes. So
I think dotes means anecdotes.
Yes.
Maybe.
so it's just apparently
So
like,
it used to be the
happy.
one I remember was somebody sent him one that was like kicking ass and taking names, and he had a picture of himself like with his foot up someone's ass, and he had like a notebook, and he was writing people's names down while he was doing it.
Right, exactly.
Like you would submit an idea, and he would fucking take a picture of himself doing it,
conveying that emotion.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, which is brilliant. I mean,
I
really
thought it was
brilliant.
great. I used to love it back in the day. Like I said, it hasn't been updated in forever, and damn shame, fucking internet. Like,
right.
They really should do something about that.
So
there ought to be a law.
There does ought to be a law. But so one of my favorite earliest things on the internet, I'm pretty sure this came out in the very early 2000s. Was so technically it wasn't really an internet thing. It was a true meme. Like it got shared and shared and shared and shared. Suddenly everybody knew what it was. And the best part about it is literally somebody just made a PowerPoint.
Was it the baby that was?
No.
Oh, okay.
Thank God. No, this is a little PowerPoint presentation. Why won't it work for me? Oh, there we go. Here it is. Yours is a very bad hotel.
Oh gosh.
And I still find this one of the funniest things. We're going to go through the slides very quickly. There's a lot of them, so we don't have. Anyway, these two guys went to.
They stayed at a DoubleTree.
They tried to stay at a DoubleTree.
Oh, yeah. They didn't actually stay at a DoubleTree. They had booked a DoubleTree.
They had indeed.
And things did not work out.
Right. So 2001, it happened. They went to a DoubleTree and were treated very badly. They arrived at 2 a.m., which granted is a kind of ridiculous time to show up. But
you have an expect. That's the whole point of the reservation.
You were reserved, right?
You've reserved a spot, and when you get there, you expect to have a goddamn room.
Exactly. So they were treated very poorly by night clerk Mike. Who, I love the use of quotes. My favorite part of this is they made this PowerPoint. Like this is one of the PowerPoint like the templates. It's like it's probably called business.
Yeah, sure. Making a business.
And so
I went to the factory and I made a business.
Exactly. So they explained to Mike what guarantee means, which means even if you arrive at 2:00 in the morning, you ought to have
an expectation. Jesus Christ! Every time I've ever made a goddamn reservation somewhere, it's because I'm going to show up late at night.
Exactly.
Like I'm fucking driving. Like I'll get there when I goddamn get there, and I expect to have a fucking room when I do. Like that's how it works.
But Mike was not terribly helpful. He had nothing to apologize for. And my very favorite slide. This is truly my favorite slide of all the slides. Was the career path of night clerk Mike that he peaked last week.
Oh gosh!
He started out in 1985 as a paper boy, and in 2014, 13 years after this was created, he was projected to be a septic tank cleaner. Because he was very bad at being a rude hotel clerk.
Say what you will. I bet a septic tank cleaner makes more money than a hotel clerk.
Probably. But he doesn't have to work with people.
That's true.
Which I think is the
That's the point.
And then, of course, they needed to find another room because it's now 2:15 in the morning.
Yeah.
And Mike was also very unhelpful
That's
about that.
Motel 6 has a big glowing sign on the side of the road, man. Right. It tells you what their vacancy is.
But yeah, he told them, I don't know if there are any hotel rooms available. So they shared another slide they created with other hospitality providers compared. So you got this chart, growth-oriented versus DoubleTree's way down there at the bottom. To heading for collapse. But heading for collapse was also Singapore Airlines. And over on the other side with despises and mistreats customers is literally Kabul. So that happened. So apparently they end up getting a room at Shoney's.
The Shoney's Inn.
Yeah, the Shoney's Inn, right? Not the restaurant.
Yeah, Shoney's spun up a spinoff at some point in the late 90s called the Shoney's Inn.
Right.
Which I assume was right next to a Shoney's and probably included a coupon for breakfast at Shoney's.
Absolutely. Exactly.
And it's much the same way that the Super 8 would give you a coupon for the Bob Evans next door.
Exactly. So I'm definitely not going to read this because it's too small. But basically, they had a colleague arriving the next morning and was supposed to meet them at the DoubleTree. So they asked Mike, the night clerk, to leave a note. And as you might imagine, their colleague John did not receive the note.
He wasn't having it.
To find out where they were.
Mike, the night clerk, wasn't service-oriented person.
So this is one of my other favorites. We are very unlikely to return to the DoubleTree Club Houston. Lifetime chances of dying in a bathtub, 1 in 10,455, et cetera, et cetera. Chance of winning the lottery, chance of this. chance of us returning to the DoubleTree Club Houston worse than any of those. So they were never going
That's
to go
great.
back.
Yeah.
They have a nice revenue lost, like all the
Yeah.
things that their company pays for, and they will never pay for anymore. And then the final slide just to say where they would be sending it. I actually wonder what happens if you email bearx220 at
Well,
hotmail.com.
you should email him. And
I actually thought about it before this show.
you
but
should do it.
It's probably not.
Do it this evening.
Okay.
After we get off, be like, email that guy and say,
send them a link for
tell him, hey, come watch our show. We talked about your presentation about the DoubleTree from back in the day.
your presentation from 23 years ago.
Yeah, he probably was like, oh shit, people are still talking about that? That's crazy.
It's crazy. But
oh my God.
It remains one of my very favorite
It's up
things.
there with it's decorative gourd season.
Oh yeah, decorative
from
gourd season.
McSweeney's.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
do love McSweeney's. McSweeney's is great. I couldn't include that here because it's contemporary. Like
Sure,
it
yeah,
still
but every year around fall, somebody posts it's decorative gourd season
Yes.
on Facebook. I think,
yes,
and that and then I go read it again because it's a thing I do.
right.
Uh,
So let's real quick take a
Okay.
quick break. Go back to some screen sharing
let's do it.
because I think there's a couple of very important ones.
Oh
here.
God, I even forgot about this one.
Yeah. Who forgets about this?
Oh my gosh.
How do you forget about this? Like my favorite part is I found this version, which includes
It's peanut butter jelly
The
time.
lyrics.
Peanut
The
butter
lyrics. Oh,
jelly
God.
time.
Well, thank
Peanut
you.
butter jelly
I don't
time.
know what the lyrics were.
Way at. There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Peanut butter jelly. Peanut butter
Words that know the lyrics.
You know what I like about peanut butter jelly time is it's got banana dance and there's no banana
Yeah.
in a peanut butter jelly sandwich.
100%. I've always done it, and I did not include. I'll say it's fine. We don't need to watch that
You got the
anymore.
gist. You all know it.
Yeah, let's turn that up.
Uh,
But the best, like, I did not include this, but the same. Well, so the banana phone, ring, 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 banana phone. I did not.
I don't
that.
know
Oh, you
that
don't
one.
know? Oh, shit!
I
No,
don't know
wish
the
I.
banana phone.
Now I wish I had
I mean,
shared banana phone.
Like, it's a good day for banana fish. Was that? You know that was that
I don't-
banana fish? That was a. That,
I
I
don't
feel
know
like that was a
banana
JD. Was that a
fish.
JD Salinger thing?
Maybe, but no,
I was
banana phone.
there was a short story by JD Salinger. I might be talking on my ass, but
We're
I feel like there was a.
We're gonna have to share banana phone
Oh
with
my
you
God.
later.
Okay, well I know.
But
Banana,
I figured
I actually had a banana phone though, a phone, a literal phone that was a banana or shaped like a banana. I bought at a thrift store in Chicago
nice.
because I thought it was campy and stupid. Which
Nice.
this kind of shit I like, you know.
And of course, you can't talk about the early internet without the hamster dance, which literally came out in 1999.
Oh holy shit!
So yeah, makes me feel old. But literally, this is it, folks. Like for you Gen Z and you millennials, this was the internet.
This was as good as the internet
This is
got.
all we
Back
had.
in the day, man, we would. Oh my God, this was preferable to waiting 30 minutes for a single JPEG of a naked girl to load. You know.
Exactly.
Because that's what would happen, like on your 14.4 modem, like you would line by line watch this.
Yeah.
And then it would like finally get there, and you'd be like, I don't find this at all. Like I'm not even that attracted to her. Back, you know, and now I gotta wait 20 minutes for another photo to load.
Right. So speaking of bananas, you also sent me a banana label. Was a thing.
Oh yeah.
Right? It was a
Yeah.
whole website just a banana label.
I found. So this was a thing I learned about. I want to say, in the late 90s, I was dicking around the internet and I found that people collected banana labels. And I was like, wow, this is the great thing about the internet is whatever crazy shit you're in, like probably your whole life, you thought, what a fucking freak I am. You know, like whatever you were into, you were like, I'm a fucking freak because this is what I'm into, right?
Right.
And then I don't like what you're.
Well, where I may not, because it may not be the correct one. So I've
okay.
forgotten one.
I got some things to say about that too, though.
well, we can talk about it. I may not screen share it. I was just looking to see if I can find it.
But anyway, the thing I thought about this was like, so this is the upshot. This is the good side of the internet is if you were into collecting banana labels, you found
your people.
You found your people. You
Yeah.
found that there was a community. There were other people who collected banana labels and were like you, and you're like, shit, I'm not a freak. I collect banana labels, and other people collect banana labels, and we can find each other. I mean, the downside is if you're a Nazi, you could also find your people.
Yeah, right. That is the downside.
Yes.
For sure.
However,
But that brings me to, because there's also this, right? And this is also the dark side of the interwebs.
okay.
Is that it also made people sometimes use the interwebs for shaming, which was men who look like KennyRogers.com. And the thing is,
and
the
reason I take issue with this is because I'm starting to.
You're a man who looks like Kenny Rogers.
I'm starting to ease into this demographic.
That's fair. But men who look like
so the pictures that were taking me up on the cruise ship, they
like,
ran through some sort of fucking AI filter, and they made me look more like Kenny Rogers
God.
than I do. And I was very put out with it. Like, I was like, hey, I don't look that much like Kenny Rogers. God damn it.
Like,
we did not buy their photos, by the way.
Because you look like too much like Kenny Rogers.
I was like, I don't look that much like Kenny Rogers. Fuck you. I'm not buying these. But I totally, in the pictures on the cruise ship, I totally like Kenny Rogers. I was like, you would have thought I was singing Lady to Emily in the picture,
Yeah.
you know, like.
Well, and so the thing about it is truly, it's funny, right? It's funny. But the truth is, most of these people did not consent to their photos being used on the site.
Fair,
and that's the problem. That's a dark side of the internet.
Yeah.
Is that could happen.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And in that case, it was all in good fun. But in other cases, like Rate My Teacher or Hot or Not.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It's not fun. It's actually
God,
very predatory.
I remember spending, I probably spent a few minutes on Hot or Not back in the day when it first aired. And I had a whole fucking system, too, for like, I had a plus and minus thing, like you know, Goth Girl. That's an automatic +2. You know, like. But dude in the picture with you, that's a -3. You know, like.
Yeah, but yes, and this is the problem with, right? Like that website, we all kind of forgot to realize that those are real.
Those
people.
are human beings.
Yeah. And there was the whole website, the real dark side, the whole website about. Like a revenge porn website that came out.
Sure,
this was relatively recent, but
was it?
And relatively, I mean, compared to these things, like where people were literally posting revenge porn, and sometimes people were manufacturing revenge porn, and they were real people, and real people on the internet that somebody decided, I'm gonna just take the piss out of this person and do something.
I don't even like, and first off, that's illegal in several. I'm probably not every.
Correct. It did get shut down for
probably not every state, but a lot of states that's illegal.
At least now, I mean, part of the reason.
I'm sure there was a window.
Yes,
yeah. Well, it's the thing. You break a rule and then there becomes a rule, or like, well, not you don't break a rule. There's not a rule. You do something horrible and there becomes a rule because of it.
Yeah.
Shit. I fucking say this at my house all the time. Like, listen. There are no goddamn rules until you people do things that make me make rules.
Exactly.
You know? Like,
exactly.
Because I'm tired of a thing. And I'm like, okay, now the rule is this. So anyway, I get you.
So I want to share this one. And this one I truly could not find anymore. Okay. So it came out. It's actually fairly recent considering some of these. But it was on Gawker. And apparently Gawker is gone. Just gone. None of its content exists anymore, including this.
I'll be damned.
This is truly one of my favorite things on the internet, and I found some excerpts from it. A Gawker writer named Katie Weaver tasked herself with the challenge to test the boundaries of the new, at the time, TGI Friday's endless appetizer.
Oh, you told me about this before.
You can order starters that don't stop for the bargain price of $10.
But you couldn't switch them up.
No, once you picked one, you had to stick with it.
So it's like, if it was like loaded tater skins, you were gonna eat loaded tater skins all day. You weren't gonna at some point be like, now bring me buffalo chicken.
Right.
Like, fuck that. You locked it in.
Obviously, as a promotional piece, it got people in the door, but most people ate 2 baskets of whatever it was.
Well, it's like the same thing with, like, I always say this, like when IHOP says all you can eat pancakes, like,
right.
Let's be honest. Like, nobody's gonna eat more than 2 fucking plates of pancakes before they tap out.
And even 2 is a lot. Like halfway through the second one, you're like, I've made mistakes.
Yeah, you're like, you're gonna be like Jason Bateman in Arrested Development. You're like, I've made a huge mistake.
So her editor though upped the ante by offering a week's vacation if she stayed from opening until 1 a.m., which was closing. for a full 14 hours of ordering
Yeah.
one appetizer.
Sure.
So she decided she did it, and she went in, and so she gets there 11:34 a.m. My first plate arrives. So she chose, and she admits she chose poorly. She chose mozzarella.
Oh Jesus, no, nobody can eat that many mozzarella. Like,
Right?
yeah, no, you're gonna get tired of that real fucking fast.
So she's
Fuck, I mean, and while I'm aware you couldn't eat a lot of loaded potato skins either,
you at least have variety of flavor.
it would have been a better choice. Like you. I know. I realized by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you'd have been sorry you picked potato skins.
Exactly.
But it would have been tastier than eating mozzarella sticks all fucking day long, right?
So I love the best part about this was she's a brilliant writer. And that's what made it. Like, I read this entire thing, and the original is pages long.
Okay.
Like, it's literally a detail,
but it's
all
not
14
on the
hours.
internet anymore.
Not anymore. Huh. I even tried to find it on Wayback Machine, and I could not.
You can't even find like archive of it anywhere.
So, but I love, like, they arrive in herds of 6, lightly dusted with shavings of Parmesan and Romano and flakes of parsley. Over the course of several orders, this coating would become increasingly patchy. As TGI Fridays and I stopped standing on formality. An order normally costs $7.50, which means I will have to eat at least 2 in order for TGI Fridays Endless Apps to qualify as a good deal. Each plate of 6 contains 1,100 calories.
Oh, God.
They tasted like goddamn garbage. So,
have you ever seen the meme that says, "Hey, would you like to eat 6 cheese sticks in a row?" And the person's like, "No." And like, how about if we deep fry them and then give you marinara sauce?
Right.
And they're like, "Oh,
yep,
okay,
please."
yes."
At 1:30 p.m., she types, "I goddamn hate these fucking mozzarella sticks. The more of them I eat, the more I feel I can taste every ingredient. Ingredients include cardboard left in a hamster cage, the sun, and acid." I mean, it gets funnier and funnier. It's hilarious. Like 4:50 p.m. It occurs to me that I will be able to make a wish at 11:11. I start looking forward to 11:11.
Oh God!
Like and it's just funny, like the whole thing. And I, honest to God, wish you could still read it because I read it and reread it.
Why don't you archive it on the fucking internet somewhere?
I can't. I don't have it.
Well, you have some of it.
I have excerpts.
Oh, you have excerpts.
That was from somebody else's.
Why don't? Well, you know the author. You could probably reach out.
Probably find her.
You could probably reach out to her, and she'll send you the entire transcript, and you can put it on.
True.
You can put it on your GeoCities website.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Or your live journal, whichever.
Live journal. I no longer have one of those after the Russian company bought them out, and everybody. I mean, technically, I think you can still find it. It's just not really usable anymore.
You know, I didn't. I had a tripod website, which was
a
company out of Boston. But then I think they merged eventually with GeoCities.
Yeah, but some of those did. Yeah, and Angel Fire.
Yeah, and Angel Fire. Right. For several years, Angel Fire, Tripod, and GeoCities were 3 different companies, and then at some point they kind of all merged.
Right.
And but I was a tripod person at first. I had all my websites on Tripod because they were just the first thing I found that was a free web hosting service.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
So
just that out there.
One of my other favorite things, and again, this is a lot of slides, so I'm going to go through them quickly.
Okay.
But it came out, and this was something we talked about before the show, just randomly.
Yeah.
Morning Drive Time Radio, and this was something I heard about on Morning Drive Time Radio.
Okay.
But it was this website. This guy was ranking cars of the era. And the part that made me laugh out loud was the Gary Busey scale of ugliness. And the best part is this graphic, man. Like he had the whole
Gary Busey didn't consent to this.
He did not. That's true. But he's also a weird and wacky guy. And this was the very early 2000s. So
okay.
So obviously, rating of 0 means least ugly. Rating of Gary Busey means obnoxiously ugly.
Uh-huh.
So starts out with the Subaru Baja, which of course is close to your heart.
Yes,
because you own one.
I do.
Is it a car? Is it a truck? No, it's just ugly.
It's both.
It is both.
It is both. You know what I say to people? I say it's just enough. It's as much truck as most people need. Most people don't need a full truck. They need a sedan that's got a truck bed on the back.
Exactly. But I do like, so in the previous, it says, it's easiest one of the dumbest cars. It looks like a cross between the back end of a Datsun pickup truck and the front half of one of those dog shit $5 canvas sneakers you buy at Walmart. That's it. So it gets a rating of 8 on the Gary Busey scale of ugliness. But then we move to the Pontiac Aztec. Finally,
largely considered the ugliest car ever made. Although it kind of got like because they used it. I think they used it in Breaking Bad to point out how
for sure,
to point out what a shit place Walter White's life was in.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely, 100%.
And because of that, though, it kind of gave it a resurgence, and like now people like to own it because like Walter White drove it,
Sure.
But
I love the statement. Finally, a car made with the sensibilities of a 14th century Aztec warrior in mind. But then also except Pontiac spelled it with a K because spelling words incorrectly is totally cool to the max.
It's true.
Which is
it's funny because it's true.
It is. So this was rating 7.9 on the Gary Busey scale of ugliness. So not a big fan. But this is the reason this came up because at the time I was literally driving an Element. I got really excited about this. So the Honda Element came out, which unfortunately they don't make anymore, which I am so sad about that.
Like, really? Like the closest thing you get to Honda Element, I don't actually know if they still make these, but the Nissan Cube.
Yeah, but they're not even. They're not even. No.
Okay.
In fact, the closest
they weren't as spacious.
No.
They were slightly smaller and they were like slightly more ugly.
Yes, which was well after this came out. But actually today, because we're going to be in the market for a new car in a couple of years probably, and the Bronco Sport is actually. I mean, it's actually cool.
I won't look at that. I like the Bronco Sport. We looked at the Maverick for a minute.
Oh yeah.
Before we realized that the towing capacity of the Maverick sucked for anything we needed, so we went up to like full size truck. But I will say money wise, like the Maverick is kind of with the Baja. Like if it's just enough truck. That's what I'll say. Like if you just need a truck for going to the dump once in a while. The Maverick is the truck for you, okay? FYI.
So apparently my slide for the actual rating of the Honda Element did not get transferred.
No.
I'm missing 2 slides actually. Weirdly.
Oh gosh.
But it was not that high. Comparatively.
Okay.
It was not that
terribly ugly.
But then of course we have the Chevy Avalanche,
which is a dumpster fire. Look at that thing.
Part rubber, part metal, all stupid.
Because this is like the Baja, but it's a full-size truck.
My favorite part about this, though, and I did make sure we had all of these. It's absolutely ridiculous because the truck bed is also like 3 feet by 3 feet. Like you couldn't.
It's a small. Yeah,
but it's put anything.
But I'm telling you, it gets the gas mileage of a full-size truck.
Yeah,
at least the Baja, at the end of the day, is a fucking Subaru Outback.
It's a car, yes.
and it gets still like 34 miles to the gallon or whatever,
Exactly. My favorite part of this, though, he went on a bender about it looks like a Transformer, except Transformers are cool, except for Bumblebee. What a dumbass. And so basically says, it's terrible. But anyway, back to the car, and it was a rating of a 7.2. So
wait, he thought this was better than the Baja.
Yeah, no, he definitely the Baja and the Aztec were his least favorite for sure.
Well,
and the Element actually had it was like a 6 or something.
Okay.
Relatively low, which was good for me.
I see.
The truth is, the Baja is ugly.
I think it's the chart. It's like it's ugly in the way that Yoda is ugly. It's so ugly, it's cute.
Ugly in the way Cabbage Patch Kids were ugly.
Yes.
In the way everybody told me my Sphinx cat was so ugly, she was cute.
Exactly, yes. The Baja is the Sphinx cat of vehicles.
Speaking of Sphinx cats, I did not pull a ton of content because there's too much.
Oh God, man! And
it's still going today, but
it's still a thing. Okay.
Yeah, it's still a thing. It still exists.
Oh yeah, but this was a thing. I remember. So I used to work at a place, and we used to have so the company I worked for was a startup, and when you were loading up our software, it would go grab a screenshot from I Can Has Cheeseburger and throw it on there as a loading screen.
Right.
It would just pick a it had a randomizer thing where we go go out and grab one. And it was, and it was like a little charming thing that we did,
I love it. So I got a couple more things to share, and we've got a couple minutes. I will not get to all of these because many of them are
we're never going to do all the things.
Far too long.
Okay, but you got to do both of these if you're going to do this one, right?
Well, this and well,
and the one I sent you that was
I did not.
spin-off.
The spinoff, I did not save that one. But that was
okay. Well, I'll tell you.
Nyan Waits.
Nyan Waits. So if you guys remember Nyan Cat, is this live on the thing now?
This is currently live.
Okay.
Yes, people can see this.
Okay, so you still go to Nyan Cat and you can watch this thing for fucking ever. It'll loop forever. But there's also on YouTube. So there used to be a website, but the website's now down. But on YouTube you can still find it. Nyan Waits, which was Tom Waits doing the Nyan Cat thing, and it's actually got an image of Tom Waits and his guitar, and there with a rainbow coming out of his ass, and he's floating through space, and he's going nya 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 nya.
Exactly.
And it'll just loop for fucking 12 hours or something. But anyway, there used to be a website called Nyan Waits that would take you to that, but it's gone now because the internet's fickle.
The internet is fickle. But then you also sent me this one.
Okay. Yeah, but it doesn't. Does it work?
I did. I got it working.
Oh, you
at
did
least
get it to
let's
work.
see if it still works.
Okay, because I couldn't get. I didn't know if it was my ad blocker that was making it not work.
It might be, but it literally it would just play this for
it would just loop
days.
If you had
so, and obviously, Eminem's been at the top of all my Lights band.
Yeah.
I've never just really, he opened the rest of
just let it.
Oh, Mom Spaghetti.
Yep, sure did. I've never been there. Don't need to watch it all by any
But this
means.
one, so what's funny about it is it doesn't play Lose Yourself. It plays a version of Lose Yourself where it puts the word Mom Spaghetti at the end of every every sentence.
Yes.
So it just says Mom Spaghetti over and over again.
Yes.
And it's done in a way where it actually works. Like it plays anyway.
Well, and then you sent me this one. I think we'll get through these next
Oh my
two.
God, yes, yeah.
You said also this one.
I did.
And then that made me think of the other one.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't send you that one because that was when you told me we're all out of time, and I was like, okay, well, I won't send you that one, but the one I just saw.
So I fast forwarded through this because there's a lot more, but we're gonna end not the Trogdor.
Yeah, all the Homestar. I mean,
I probably won't watch this.
Trogdor, you got The System Is Down with Strong Bad.
Dragon
Man. Trogdor's just,
it was just a dragon. But he was still Trogdor!
I hit this on our
But did you? Okay. You're the one about when The System Is Down. You watch that?
Yeah.
It was Strong Bad.
Yeah.
I always play it whenever, when I can't log in. It always reminds me, whenever for fucking whatever reason I can't log in. I'm like, okay. Well, then I'm gonna go listen to that for a minute. And it's like.
So let's end the show.
Okay.
On this classic, which was one of the earliest things anybody ever shared with me on the internet.
Yeah.
Hey, Charlie! Hey, Charlie, wake up! Yeah, Charlie, you silly sleepyhead, wake up!
Yeah, we just
oh God, you guys. This had better be pretty freaking important. Is the meadow on fire?
No, Charlie. We found a map to Candy Mountain. Candy Mountain, Charlie. Yeah, Charlie. We're going to Candy Mountain. Come with us, Charlie. Yeah, Charlie. It'll be an adventure. We're going on an adventure, Charlie.
Yeah, Candy Mountain, right. I'm just gonna, go back to sleep now.
No, Charlie. You have to come with us to Candy Mountain. Yeah, Charlie. Candy Mountain.
Yeah.
And sweets and joy.
Please stop bouncing on me.
Candy Mountain, Charlie. Yeah, Candy Mountain.
All right, fine. I'll go with you to Candy Mountain.
La 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 la. La 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 la.
Enough with the singing already.
Our first stop is over there, Charlie.
Oh, God, what is that?
It's a Leopleurodon, Charlie. Magical Leopleurodon. It's gonna guide our way to Candy Mountain.
All right, guys, you do know that there's no actual Candy Mountain, right?
Shun the non-believer. Shun. Shun.
Like, what were people thinking?
Yeah.
That's my question. Magical Paragon.
It has spoken. It has told us the way.
It didn't say anything.
It's just over this bridge, Charlie. This magical bridge of hope and wonder.
Is anyone else getting, like, covered in splinters? Seriously, guys, we shouldn't be on this thing.
Charlie. Charlie. Charlie.
I'm glad I don't have any.
I'm right here. What do you want?
Those poor people.
We're on a bridge, Charlie.
Here, Charlie.
We're here.
Well, what do you know? There actually is a Candy Mountain.
Candy Mountain, Candy Mountain, you fill me with sweet, sugary goodness. Go inside the Candy Mountain cave, Charlie. Yeah, Charlie, go inside the cave. Magical wonders are to behold when you enter.
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks. I'm gonna stay out here.
But you have to enter the Candy Mountain Candy Cave, Charlie.
It's just
Oh, when you're down and looking for some cheering up, then just head right on up to the Candy Mountain Cave. When you get inside, you'll find yourself a cheery land, such a happy and joy-filled and perky Maryland. They've got lollipops and gummy drops and candy things, oh so many things that will brighten up your day. It's impossible to wear a frown in Candy Town. It's the mecca of love, the Candy Cave. They've got jelly beans and coconuts with little hands, candy rats, chocolate cats, it's a wonderland. They train to town and hear the candy band, candy bells. It's a treat as they march across the land. Cherry ribbons stream across the sky into the ground. Turn around, it astounds. It's a dancing candy train in the Candy Cave. Imagination runs so free. So now, Charlie, please will you go into the cave?
Right, fine.
We're gonna. This is
Freaking
almost.
It's all
Games.
there. Oh, we
Pretty
didn't get
good.
to play them off keyboard. Oh my
Goodbye,
God.
Charlie. Yeah, goodbye, Charlie.
Goodbye.
Yeah, you guys be sure to look.
Hey, what's going on here?
We'll share the link.
Hello?
We'll put all the links in the.
Who is that?
Whatever. I don't know. Whatever we
Well,
do.
we could honestly
Oh,
probably
God.
do a whole show on
What happens?
Wayback, 'cause-
Right? Just keep. Oh my God.
Oh, they took my freaking kidney.
Yeah. That's the whole damn thing. Oh, I don't think that's still up anymore. Like
The
but
original.
not the well, I mean not the website, playemoffkeyboardcat.com, but you can find
Right.
some archive stuff on YouTube or whatever.
Right.
I'm pretty sure Keyboard Cat, the actual cat and Keyboard Cat, is now dead because
Yeah.
that makes sense. I always sometimes when I'm trying to be a downer, I like to remind people, I'm like, hey, get this. The dog from Air Bud, he's dead now.
I will.
I mean,
when-
because that like came out in the '90s, and like
Right.
it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
fucking
he's
golden
definitely
retriever.
been-
They're like 11 years old, like tops, right? Like, there's no way that dog's alive.
I will often bring to bring it down even more. I'll often bring up Laika, the
The space
The
dog.
space
Yeah,
dog?
that dog never came back.
she never came back.
She never came back to Earth.
Never came
Or
back.
Space Bat. You remember Space
Oh
Bat?
my God, Space Bat! I love that's not
Oh my
early, in
God.
it, but because the
But
video.
that was a thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it wasn't a thing like nobody memed, but nobody did it on purpose.
Yeah,
Like, it
no.
was just a bat that was like
A bat.
wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, hanging on to the damn space shuttle for
Yeah.
some fucking reason or another.
Wrong place, wrong
Wound up,
time. My
wound up
friend.
in outer space.
Yeah,
I
well,
guess.
not.
Or somewhere in between.
Yeah, he died somewhere in the middle for sure. All right, well, now that we brought it all the way down,
I mean, hey,
it's reality, children.
you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
That's true, but we do have to go eat Bella's pizza.
It's true we do. Detroit style?
Not today, but
I'll be damned. I
Well,
thought for sure. I
well,
thought for sure with the
no, 'cause
events,
we
the
didn't
events of the last week.
because
that
we
we'd
couldn't
be-
go anywhere to buy it.
Okay, fair
but
enough.
we're probably gonna have it next week for
All
the
right.
for the game at any rate.
Yeah,
So all right, folks, that is another episode of Bill Has Opinions. Why don't you take us
sure
away?
is. Okay, Bill Has Opinions is engineered and produced by Laura Lavoie. The opinions of Bill are his and his alone, unless Laura agreed with them. And tonight we were just talking about the internet, so there was nothing to disagree about. Well, I mean, it's the fucking internet. What are you gonna do? Let's see. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on Facebook. Be sure to hashtag either Bill Has Opinions or Can't Miss Bill Shit.
Can't miss Bill shit.
If you're gonna like mention us, you want ideas for future shows, questions, comments, concerns, just hashtag that shit. Put it in a comment somewhere. We'll see it eventually, and we'll deal with it. We'll move with it appropriately, and it'll be a thing that we put on a show in the future, probably, unless it's stupid and lame. And then shame on you for being stupid and lame. Anyway,
You're not a friend of ours.
I know, right? Like, yeah, but you probably are if you're watching this.
To be fair, we're also stupid and lame, as it turns out.
Anyways, have a good week, everybody. And we'll see you next time when we talk about, what are we talking about?
Oh, shit. Oh, goddamn. I knew it like an
Some
hour
damn
ago.
thing. We'll be talking about a thing, all right.
The anatomy of a pop song.
The anatomy of a pop song.
So what makes a song good?
Yeah, I didn't want to be no pop singer. Didn't want to write no pop song.
Yeah.
That's what John Cougar Mellencamp said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said. But he also said he was sucking on a chili dog. So I wouldn't take everything he said.
Behind the tasty phrase.
Yeah. Like, that guy's, like, there's something wrong with that guy. So don't listen to him.
All right. All right, everybody. We'll see you all next week.
Tasty Freeze is like, no way. Get out of here, guy.
Bye.
You're bait.
Bye, everybody.